everybody. Game 2 of our best of 7 series between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. The Capitals with a terrible Game 1. Slavin won it in overtime, a 2-1 victory, a dominating victory for the Carolina Hurricanes. They look to do that again and take 2 here at nation's capital. For the Washington Capitals, are looking to try and get a win here to even the series going to Raleigh. As welcoming everybody, I'm Max. Delighted to have you with us here on the NHL and MHS, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure. The Washington Capitals, who won their division, won the conference, or could be down 2-0 going to Carolina if they do not get a win here tonight. It's a crucial game for them and in their season. They do not want to lose the first 2 here at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., as they need these victories. As we are about to get ready for the national anthems that are about to come up soon. And we welcome you in, everybody. And game number 2 of this best of 7. And the Canes are looking to take a 2-0 series lead for sure. And we will see if that's going to be the case here, obviously, as we are about to be ready soon. Some lineup changes here for the Washington Capitals. No Ryan Leonard, the rookie that they signed this season, had a chance in Game 1 to win the game basically late in the third on a breakaway, and he lost the handle and he got scratched. But Spencer Carberry said he did not like any of their play in game number 1. That was not Washington Capitals hockey for them, and they just need a overall better game than they just had in game number 1, and it was just poorly played by the Washington Capitals. They were just not good at all. They were just, it was embarrassing, honestly. It was not their type of hockey, and they look to get back to their type of hockey as we're about to get underway with the national anthems. We send it down.
Good dressing.
Gentlemen, the Washington Capitals and RTX are proud to welcome Petty Officer Second Class Kevin Woolley from the United States Navy. To Petty Officer Second Class Kevin Woolley and to all of the men and women serving in our armed forces who are in attendance tonight, we thank you for your service. And now, to perform tonight's national anthem, please welcome the pride of D.C., Bob McDonald and Caleb Green.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Game 2 here in Washington, D.C. at Capital One Arena. The Carolina Hurricanes trying to go up 2-0 in the series, and we will see if they can get the job done here and take 2 on the road in Washington, D.C., as the road teams have been very successful in the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's Frederick Anderson, 4-1, 1.45 goals against average, a .935 save percentage. He's allowed 1 goal in 4 of 5 games in this postseason. He's done pretty well for these Carolina Hurricanes. On the other side, Logan Thompson, 4-2 at home. He's 3-1, a .951 save percentage at home. Overall in the playoffs, he's a .926 save percentage, but his home numbers are way better than his away record, as they're, I believe, 1-1 on the road. And there's Ovechkin, and they didn't score yet. We're underway here in Game 2. The Carolina Hurricanes trying to go up 2-0. Centering pass for Ovechkin on the outside, trying to center for Stroma, was blocked by Chatfield. And it's moved up here by Martinuk off the stick of Jarvis at center ice. Chikrin will pick it up on his backhand between the circles. Twists it up to center ice. Sent back into the Carolina zone. Anderson out to play it behind the net. Orlov will bank it off the backboards, and Martinuk will play it up out of the reach of Stahl. And then it's picked up here by the Capitals off the turnover. Roy couldn't get much on it, but no icing. This was deflected. Chatfield turned over. Dubois trying to center it, was blocked by Svechnikov. Loose along the wall. Jarvis steals it away from Dubois. Wilson held it in. Chatfield gets it back, though, as Svechnikov clears it. Aho goes across. It looked like maybe too many men there. They do not call it. Maybe just barely. They didn't call it. Out in front shot was blocked out in front of the net. Tom Wilson the other way, and a close chance there. Deflects out into the crowd and out of play. 1:04 in, and the Carolina Hurricanes already have an opportunity to be up one in the game. Very close there for the Washington Capitals. That was very close for them and not good for them in this early state of the game. They really need to get to their game plan before everything could go bad for them right now. Spencer Carberry wants a better game overall from his team. Thought he didn't have a good team effort from the last game, as they just did not play good. They only had 14 shots on goal in the previous game. That's the lowest, I believe, that the Carolina Hurricanes have ever let up in Whalers Hurricanes franchise history in the playoffs. Goes behind the net, loose, and Dowd will pick it up behind the net. Will chip it off the glass and out to center ice. Brent Burns will pick it up, and then it's intercepted by Nick Dowd, who lost the handle, gave it up to Burns again. Shot back in. Duhaime got leveled with a hit from Kotkaniemi. And Burns looked to clear it. He will, and Stankoven will pick it up. 3-on-2 approaching for the Hurricanes. Stankoven onside, pass across, shot. Save made by Thompson. And a huge early stop there. Less than 2 minutes in. Carolina already with some opportunities to be on the board first. But some huge saves. And this is not what Washington wanted. They want their goaltender to be good, but they don't want them to depend on them the whole entire game. That's not a recipe for success. As a good save there by Logan Thompson. Lindgren is not backing up Logan Thompson. He has a family matter, I believe. And it's going to be Mitchell Gibson who is backing up Logan Thompson. As off the face-off, it is won here by the Hurricanes, but 1-2 cleanly as it comes out to center ice. Walker will shoot it back in from the red line. Thompson out to play it. Deflected. Van Riemsdyk can't knock it down. Loose along the wall. Goes back to the point, but is intercepted there. Capitals move it up. Mangiapane now Alexiev into the zone onside. Sent it around behind the net. Eller, who's on that 2018 Stanley Cup winning team with the Capitals. They're looking to do so again, but this Carolina team has put them in a pressuring situation. Roslovic shot wide of the net on the rebound as it was initially shot wide and blocked. Walker trying to center it, was blocked away by Alexiev. Loose along the wall. It comes free as Eller will pick it up for the Capitals. Look to start a rush. Instead, they'll dump it in, but it's no icing as Mangiapane. Oh, wow. They call that icing. Oh, wow. That's a very bad call by the linesman. And the crowd doesn't like that. The Hurricanes 8-1 when winning a game one under Rod Brindamore, the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes. They're 8-1 in series when they win the first game of the series. They won game one of this series here at Capital One Arena. A 2-1 overtime winner by Slavin. And the faceoff was won by the Capitals. They cleared it out to center. Shot back in again by the Hurricanes as Thompson out to play it through the legs and had some trouble with Sandin handling it. Jarvis on the forecheck trying to get it away. Martinuk will steal it away now behind the net. Loose along the wall. Bouncing with the puck Roy giving away, shot by Stahl. He fanned on it. Chatfield blocked. Centering pass, Jarvis. Save made by Thompson. And the Hurricanes continuing that pressure, that shot volume they've had since the first game of this series, continues on here in game 2. Thompson, a weird play behind the net. Sandin couldn't hold it or control it, pardon me. And it was just all chaos right after that. And not a good start if you're the Washington Capitals. This is not the start they needed. They already shot 7 shot attempts for the Carolina Hurricanes on net. They have not gone on net, not most of them, I think. The Capitals have no shot attempts at all in the game. We're almost 4 minutes in. In game 1, the Hurricanes had 94 shot attempts. The Capitals only 34. And only 14 of them made it on net. So they had 20 shot attempts that did not go onto the net. Shot blocked by someone out in front. It was Blake's chance. Burns, no icing. 2 shots on goal for the Hurricanes. Comes in front, backhander denied. Wilson with a chance off a turnover by Burns. McMichael sends it behind the net. Wilson out muscling, Slavin. Dubois on the backhand, trying to center it. Loose along the slot. Now it goes back along the boards. Chikrin. Now for Dubois. Back to Wilson, who fanned on the shot. His stick broke. But Carlson swats it away. Couldn't get possession, though, as Blake will move it in. Wilson without a stick. McMichael will settle it down. Wilson, I believe, will go for a line change. McMichael had some trouble handling that puck. Ovechkin will send it back. Chikrin's dead tired, so Taylor Hall takes advantage of that. Walker. And now it's sent deep into the corner by Kakaniemi. Taylor Hall trying to get it away from Pradas. And Pradas will try to clear, could not. Van Riemsdyk will bank it off the boards from the penalty boxes. Shot back in again. Stankoven. A pass across, deflected away. Ovechkin trying to take advantage. Passes it across for Strome, looking for an option. Still looking now for Alexia from the blue line. Deflected loose. Still loses Van Riemsdyk, fanless chance. Stankoven the other way as the Hurricanes like to counter. Taylor Hall pressured by 3. Stankoven steals it away from Van Riemsdyk. Not held in, and then it's forced out the center ice. Taylor Hall will pass it back to Anderson. Chatfield. Shot back in by Carolina. Roy will get it. A huge hit along the boards near the glass. 5 minutes have passed here in the opening period here in game 2. Shots are 2-1 in favor of the Hurricanes on goal. And a turnover here again. And oh, wow. Dowd got taken down by Orlov. The other way comes the Hurricanes, and then the zone shot deflected wide. Robinson with the opportunity. The fourth line out here, Roslovic, Carrier, and Robinson deflected wide on that shot. Chatfield shot over the net. Beauvillier trying to get it out. Orlov held it in. In the skates, held in. Chatfield from the blue line, another shot blocked loose. Save made on Robinson. Beauvillier will chip it out to center. So far, the Hurricanes have just gotten opportunities after opportunities. Almost another turnover here. Mangiapane went down as Stahl will move it up. The captain of this Carolina Hurricane squad. Carlson. Pass back. Radish coming into the lineup in place for Ryan Leonard. Chikrin couldn't send it in deep. He went down on the collision near the penalty boxes. Eller trying to get it free, but then instead it's Gostisbehere who passes it back to his goaltenders. Anderson had some trouble. Radish rimmed all the way around as no one could take advantage for Washington as Gostisbehere passes for Martinuk, but turned it over at center ice. Mangiapane will shoot it back in from the blue line. Rimmed around Gostisbehere. Pressured Walker. Clears it out to center as a collision was there in the corner on Gostisbehere. Shot back in by Aho on the backhand. Sandin gets a little bit of a bump there by Jarvis as the Capitals have possession. Deflected. No icing. Burns pressured by Wilson. Couldn't get the puck though as Svechnikov stole it away. Capitals still with possession as Dubois shot Sandin from the point, and it's stopped there by Anderson in the glove as the shots are even at 2. 6:54 in. Capitals, Hurricanes, scoreless in Washington, D.C. We're back, everybody. 13:06 left to go in the first period. It's game number 2 of this best-of-7 series. The Hurricanes trying to go up 2-0 against the Washington Capitals. Spencer Carberry, head coach of the Capitals, 2025 Jack Adams finalist, coach of the year. Right now, he needs to coach his team to a victory as they're in a very dangerous situation, going down 2-0. We saw the other day where the Panthers went down 2-0 to Toronto, out of all teams. Wilson, and now deflected shot from the point, loose behind the net. You don't want to be down 2-0. As a huge hit happened there along the boards. What a hit. Stahl trying to move it in. Poked away by Dubois. And there's a penalty upcoming, I believe. And I believe Carolina will be going to the power play. A hooking called, and the Hurricanes, and Strome does not like the call. Carberry's like, you gotta be kidding me. Well, that's not what he said. He said something else. We just can't say it on here. Is that the call? Let's see. What's the call? That's an iffy call right there. Soft. Dubois doesn't like it. Dubois is arguing about it, and he should probably be. That's not a good call. So the Hurricanes are going to go to the power play, and Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov, Blake, and Gostisbehere out there. Dowd, Duhaime, Carlson, and Roy, the penalty killers for the Capitals. Deflected back to the point. Gostisbehere fan on the pass, but it still worked out as Blake has it on the backhand. Sends it for Jarvis, for Blake along the boards. Pressured by Dowd, and it's cleared out to the zone, and 0 for 3 on the power play were the Hurricanes in game 1. They had 3 shots on it. They're 27.3% this postseason, though, on the power play. Most of those coming against New Jersey in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Blake trying to center it. Blocked there by Roy. Loose along the boards. Jarvis trying to get it free. Roy was getting hooked there a little bit. Oh, boy, that could be another hold. That could have been another penalty. Gostisbehere fakes the blast. Across for Aho. Circles back. Back for Gostisbehere. For Aho again. Back for Gostisbehere. Settles it down. Now for Svechnikov off the pass from Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere gets it back. Aho. Gostisbehere again from the blue line. Shot blockered away by Thompson. Svechnikov from the boards to the blue line. Gostisbehere. Now for Svechnikov. Into the circle. Aho. Back to the point. Gostisbehere deflected and out of play. 49 seconds to go on the Carolina power play. Had some opportunities, and I really thought there was going to be another penalty going to get called there. That looked like a true holding there on Wilson. They don't call it. Maybe it's a makeup call for calling the penalty that led to this power play. It was kind of soft. 11:38 to go in a scoreless game in the first period. Game 2. We had a low-scoring one in game 1. We'll see if we can continue that here. We're going to see a spark of offense. It's either this series is going to be very defensive and all the goals are going to matter, or it's going to be a fun, high-scoring series as it's chipped out to center ice by the Capitals off the draw. And 40 seconds remaining on the power play as Brent Burns has the puck. He will drop it off for Jack Roslovic moving in. Stankoven along the board. Second power play unit on there for the Carolina Hurricanes. Hall back for Burns for Stankoven, who tied the game in game 1 to force it into overtime. Burns a shot. Wide. Kakiniemi couldn't get the rebound. He was tied up by Sandin. Loose along the boards. Duhaime, and then Van Riemsdyk had some trouble with a turnover. Stankoven trying to get it back. It's cleared out of the zone with 10 seconds to go. 9 minutes have passed here in the first period, and the power play about to expire in 3 seconds. Burns drops it off for Roslovic. The power play is over. Roslovic on the backhand, trying to send it low. It's cleared out of the zone. Regathered here by Burns. Chatfield now. Stankoven in the circle. Crowd chanting. Only 2 shots on that power play for the Hurricanes. They're 0 for 4 in the series, and they only have 5 shots on the power plays on those 4 opportunities. Loose along the boards for Chatfield. Shot! Caromed wide of the net. It rolled towards the goal. It was a weird shot. It deflected off a body. And the Capitals are throwing some huge hit on some of these Carolina Hurricanes. Strome settles it down between the circles in his own zone. Still with the puck. Chips it in from the red line. Chatfield will get it now. 5-2, the shots favoring the Hurricanes. We're more than halfway through the first period of Game 2. Capitals down by 1 in the series. The Hurricanes trying to go up 2-0 going back to Raleigh, North Carolina, where I believe they have not lost a home game. They're 3-0 in Lenova Center. Carlson will chip it in. Anderson settles it down. A turnover here to Radish, and then Carlson couldn't settle it down. Almost a turnover here to Svechnikov is deflected away at center ice. As the Hurricanes are just playing keep away here from the Capitals. It feels like everything the Capitals are trying to make up right now, they can't get anything going. No passes, it's just getting broken up. A pass across for Aho, trying to return it back for Svechnikov. It got blocked away. From the boards, back to the line, Chatfield off the bank boards. Sandin, and it's deflected out to center ice. Gostisbehere will go back. Off the boards behind Anderson. It's cleared out to center ice. Taylor Hall will pick it up. Offensive zone time for the Carolina Hurricanes. More than 3 minutes as Kakanyemi receives a pass from Taylor Hall. Goes back to the point. Burns a shot wide of the net on the one-timer. Burns again from the blue line. Deflected wide as it went off of bodies out in front of the net. Back for Burns again for a third try. Deflected wide of the net. And maybe a chance here for the Capitals. They try to move it up. Duhaime picks up the puck for Beauvillier. And a great defensive play there. It was poked away at the last second. And the chance for the Capitals could not go. Beauvillier gets it again. Onside shot. Wide of the net. Maybe they whistled it down for offside. 8 minutes to go in the first period. We're scoreless. Beauvillier with the chance. And a great defensive play by Slavin. We'll be back with Game 2. Ovechkin trying to lead his team to a tie series. We're back, everybody. A scoreless first period. This was in 2019, Game 3, Ovechkin and Svechnikov. And this has been tension between these two. Ovechkin throwing the gloves of Svechnikov back in that 2019 series when the Capitals were defending Stanley Cup champions and the Hurricanes winning that series in double overtime in game number 7. I believe that record was broken when Jets and Blues went to a Game 7 this year in the first round and was ended in almost triple overtime. That deflects an out of play into the crowd with 7:53 to go. Still scoreless here in Washington. Ovechkin, a record-setting season, a record-breaking season All of it coming together. But so far in the series, 0 points. Only one shot. 19 minutes and 34 seconds on time on ice. Ovechkin, who was really good in the Montreal series, has not been a factor in this series. 21 shot attempts for the Hurricanes, only 5 for the Capitals. 2 of them have been on goal. Sandin. And now it's taken away here. Wilson gets taken into the bench. Oh, wow. Orlov had some trouble centering past Martinook, couldn't get it. Chatfield. A little bit of an elbow there on Dubois. Loose along the boards. Jarvis trying to get it free. It's still jammed up with a skate of Dubois. It's still stuck along the boards. Jarvis centering pass. Stahl gets taken down. No penalty. It wasn't much of a fall, but it almost looked like a trip. Shot by Orlov. Glove saved by Thompson. With 6:55 to go in the first. Huge saves by Thompson. He's been big in the game. He's stopped 6 or 7 already. And he's had a lot of shot attempts to face too, as the Hurricanes have been able to just continue to click on their offense, and the Capitals not so much. Capitals really need to find their game here because they have not found their game at much in the series. Stahl took Wilson into the bench, and Strome was trying to look at the iPad, I believe. And then Wilson making that play against Stahl, where Stahl would have had a great chance. 6-5, the hits favoring the Capitals. The Capitals trying to be more physical in this one for sure, trying to bruise up these Hurricanes. Svechnikov looking for an option, comes into the slot. Poked away by Beauvillier, but is given back for Svechnikov. Carlson trying to get it away, loose along the wall. Duhaime clears it out to center ice. Svechnikov taken down by Dowd. Still forced it back into the Capital zone, where it's recollected here by McMichael and shot back down. Icing on the Caps with 6:31 to go. Svechnikov with 5 goals this postseason. And he probably would be leading. This period so far, the Hurricanes have 22 shot attempts, 1 scoring chance. Capitals have 5 shot attempts. They have no scoring chances in the game, which is not a recipe for success in this series. Are these Hurricanes for real? Losing to the Rangers in 6 last year. The Rangers are not in the playoffs. So the team that always defeats them in the postseason is not here. So maybe, just maybe, they can get through another postseason. No icing here, as Gostisbehere will pick it up. Through the middle, we'll shoot it back in from the center logo. Alexiev passed it back for Van Riemsdyk, knocked down there behind the net by Taylor Hall. Stankoven trying to get it. It's Kotkaniemi, Stankoven, and Taylor Hall on the line. Stankoven trying to center for Kotkaniemi off a skate of Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Hall picks it up to the point. Gostisbehere, save made by Thompson. He barely got it with the blocker. He didn't even know where that puck was. Capitals chasing again. Ovechkin. Alexiev pressured along the board. Stankoven steals it away. Still with the puck. He's so good. Stankoven with his determination and skill. He might be short, but he is very determined, hard-working player. Roslovic will pick it up now off the pass. Looking for an option. We'll shoot it around the glass. Eller will move it up. Lars Eller chips it off the boards. Could have had a pass there for Mangiapane out of his reach. Mangiapane out in front. Anderson kept it out. 5:10 to go. The Caps trying to bank one in off of Anderson, and Mangiapane went down. 5:10 to go in the opening period. Mangiapane with this chance off a skate of Roslovic, but the blocker of Anderson stays on the ice, and we're still scoreless. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Round number 2. The Carolina Hurricanes, the away team. The Washington Capitals, the home team. Capitals trying to even the series up at 1, going back to Raleigh. As for games number 3 and 4 will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. But they'd rather have this series tied and have a guaranteed game 5 back here at Capital One Arena. Jordan Staal, a 2009 Stanley Cup champion with the Pittsburgh Penguins when they beat the Detroit Red Wings in 7 games. A huge save by Marc-Andre Fleury, who just retired. And he stopped Nicholas Lidstrom on that point-blank chance with 2 seconds left at Joe Louis Arena. He is the captain of this Carolina Hurricanes squad, trying to get his 2nd Stanley Cup. Off the face-off, 1. Sandin held it in from the blue line. Rimmed around. Shots are 6-3 in favor of the Hurricanes. Dubois looking to center it. Still has the puck, goes back to the blue line. Roy trying to get one through, a shot deflected wide of the net. Capitals trying to get some sustained pressure here. Centering pass is blocked away. Centering pass by McMichael could not go off of sticks. Wilson to the point, not held in by Roy. It was a dangerous pass and it did not work out. Orlov off a skate. McMichael couldn't get it away from Chatfield. Dubois having some trouble, pressured by Jarvis and Chatfield. Sandin will pass it for Roy. Turned it over for a moment. Pressured by Gostisbehere. Wilson across. Sandin will circle back. Across it goes for Roy. Matt Roy looking for an option. Back for Sandin. Deflected up, and here is Dowd into the zone. A backhand pass across for Duhaime, looking for an option. Still with the puck, pressured from behind by Slavin. Chychrun's shot, deflected loose! Rebound shot, couldn't go. Duhaime back, Chychrun across. A shot, wide of the net. That was a good chance there for the Capitals. The only good chance they've had in this period. Coming at 16 minutes. Blake couldn't get a pass across for Aho. Blake steals it away, though. Aho trying to go low for Svechnikov. Couldn't go, as it was blocked away by Beauvillier at the blue line. Carlson chips it back in. Beauvillier trying to hunt for it. Blake steals it away. Beauvillier getting a little bit hooked there. Deflected, loose. Protas. Beauvillier rimmed it all the way around, back to the point. Van Riemsdyk now back for Chychrun. Shot wide of the net, purposely, as it came back into the slot. Fans want a penalty, they won't get it. Chychrun rimmed all the way around again, deflected. Ovechkin out there on the ice. Strome couldn't get it. Loose along the boards as Orlov will pass it off the boards, but it's held in by Van Riemsdyk. A turnover by Carolina. It's loose as Svechnikov knocks it down, and it's cleared out to center ice. Less than 3 minutes to go in the opening period here at Capital One Arena. Ovechkin on the drop pass from Strome. Ovechkin was trying to go cross ice and could not get the pass across. Van Riemsdyk is back, pressured by Taylor Hall. Loose along the boards. Hall has the puck. Shot off the tough angle chance. Roslovic makes a save. Stecco at center. Roslovic blocked. Loose. And it's cleared. Walker moves it in on a Caps line change. Hall couldn't move it in on side. Deflected. Almost thrown away there by Mangiapane. It's offside with 2:16 remaining in the opening period of Game 2. But the Capitals turning up the tempo here as they're getting chances. As Dowd just fan on that rebound chance right in the front of the crease. And this one just whistled wide. Look at this one. Dowd just fans on it. He had a perfect rebound. The puck was just bouncing. And then this chance here was blocked by Strome. A huge block there, or else Roslovic could have made this 1-0 already in game number 2. 2:16 remaining in the first. And it's Roslovic who gets kicked out of the face-off dot. Carey, Robinson, and Roslovic out there, as Robinson couldn't win the face-off. Shot back in as Eller Mangiapane and Radish are out there. It is cleared out to center ice. Robinson pokes it up. Roslovic trying to get it away. Thompson plays it off the glass. Loose. Carrier pecked it up for a second. Can't be cleared by Eller yet, and then Roy will move it around. Radish can't clear it out yet. Multiple chances for the Capitals to try to clear the puck. They have not been able to. Now they will, as Eller will move it up. Mangiapane stolen away off the pressure by Burns. And the Capitals right now, even though they got some momentum on that last shift, they have not looked like themselves in the dominating way that they were against Montreal, as the shots are 8-4 in favor of the Hurricanes. Carlson, and now McMichael on, no, it was onside, they say. Well, I'm about to say they were about to whistle it down for an offside. They did not. Chipped back in by Martinuk. Loose along the boards. A minute and 5 to go. Turnover, stall, blocked. Wilson on the centering pass. He blocked the shot. Sandin will chip it into the corner. Less than a minute to go. Wow, what a block. Shot save made by Anderson. His 5th shot he's faced tonight. Both the goalies coming up big here in the opening period. Beauvillier will move it up into the middle. It's Roy into the zone. 40 seconds remaining. That shot got blocked. Loose along the boards. Penalty upcoming to Carolina. 37 seconds to go, and the Capitals will go to the power play late. As everyone gets together in the corner, but I believe it's going to be a Capitals power play with less than a minute to go in this opening period. See if the Capitals can try to take a lead into the locker room, because that is something they do need. This is the chance from Stahl. A diving block there by Wilson right in the slot, kind of similar to Strome on Roslovic. Or on Taylor Hall, maybe. I'm not sure with that previous chance, though. I believe Chatfield takes the penalty here. Yeah, he does. He trips up Dowd. Oh. That's also kind of an iffy call, too. Kind of seemed like a dive. Maybe embellishment could have been called there. They don't call it. And so Chatfield will sit in the box for maybe 37 seconds. And then a minute and 23 if necessary in the second period, as this power play will carry over if the Capitals do not score in these 37 seconds. They look to just change that here and try to take a 1-0 lead for the second time in the series. There has not been a first period goal in this series. All have came in the second period and third period, and one in overtime. As the Capitals won the faceoff, Chicken goes low. Wilson trying to center for Strome, out of his reach. Deflected, hit off a body. Aho trying to go in short-handed and could not go. Strome, 20 seconds to go. Chikrin moves it up for Wilson, and that's going to be offside as Chikrin gets run over. Oh my goodness. Wilson back in. Can't get the shot away. Chipped it towards the slot. 8 seconds remaining. Strome, and then no one can hold it at the line. This is the weirdest power play I've ever seen. Ovechkin shoots it in. Save made by Anderson. Rebound, Wilson. Shot wide of the net as it deflected out of play as the period comes to an end. Shot attempts, 26 by Carolina. Block shots, 12 by the Capitals. They look to get a power play goal when they return to the second period. But again, for the second time in the series, we are scoreless in the first period. We'll have our intermission report coming up next. We'll see you then, as the Capitals and the Hurricanes are scoreless in Game 2. Welcome back, everybody, to the Intermission Report, and a scoreless first period here in Washington, D.C., and nothing much has happened here in this game, as these are the stats after the first period of play. Carolina is up by 7 shots, and the Capitals with 5 on goal. Power play with 1:23 left on it for the Capitals when we come back into the second period. Had some chances, but their offense has not been here at all. They only had 14 shots in game 1, and a 2-1 win on May 6th for the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime, as the faceoffs have been dominated by the Capitals. Look at that. 66% of them, or 67 of them, have been won by the Capitals. 0 for 1s on the power play so far. 12 blocked shots for the Capitals, as the Carolina Hurricanes had 26 shot attempts so far in this game. The hits are 9-8 in favor of the Hurricanes, giveaways 7-3, takeaways 2-0, and shots are 7-5 in favor of the Hurricanes. As that is what's happening in our game here in Washington, D.C., a must-win basically for the Capitals. You do not want to go down 2-0 and then go on the road, especially losing the 2 in your home building. That's not what the Maple Leafs did, as they're up 2-0. Let's look at the playoffs right now, how they stand right now. And here we go. These are the playoffs in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dallas winning a Game 1 for the first time since 2020. It takes a 1-0 lead against the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets. The best team in the National Hockey League in the regular season are down 1-0 to the Dallas Stars, who beat a Colorado team that was stacked. And Dallas was Mikko Rantanen just going off. He has 13 points, I believe, in 4 games, 3 games, I believe. He has hat tricks and back-to-back hat tricks for the first time since 1985. Yari Curry was the last person to do so. Then Toronto is up 2-0. Who had Toronto making it to the second round first off, but being up 2-0 against the defending Stanley Cup champions? The defending Stanley Cup champions look gassed, and if they don't win Game 3 tomorrow night with alongside Winnipeg Dallas Game 2, this could be it for the Florida Panthers' reign as the defending Stanley Cup champions, although no series is over until it is over. Edmonton tonight against Vegas. They look to go up 2-0 against the Vegas Golden Knights and taking 2 at the Fortress. And they want to, and then go back to that raucous atmosphere in Rogers Place. The Golden Knights looking to tie up the series and go to Rogers Place, even up at 1 apiece, as that both environments are pretty intimidating. Carolina up 1-0 in this series, and the Capitals looking for a response for sure, as they are need of a goal for sure. They are in need of a win for sure. Only 2 penalties in that first period. Dubois for hooking against Stahl, and then the late one where we have the power play right now for the Capitals. A Chatfield penalty for hooking. Both of them have been hooking calls, and that was against Nick Dowd. So we will have a 1:23 of Capitals power play time. 5-on-4, obviously. And see if the Capitals can get some key players back on the board here in this playoff year, as they have not been able to get anything in this series. There's only been 1 goal scorer, and that was Radish, I believe. I think Radish had the only goal for them. Yeah, I believe so. Or Radish's return, I think. He scores to make it 1-0 in Game 1. Stankoven with the tying goal, and then Slavin with the overtime GWG to win Game 1. That was on MHS2 with Chesty on the call. And we're doing game number 2 on the main channel. And, this is a very interesting watch for sure. Washington looking dominant all season, pardon me. And the first round looked very dominant against Montreal. Showed some little bit of iffiness, and now that iffiness is just now evolved into overall in their play, as they just don't look good. They honestly, period, they just don't look good.
and they really need something to boost them. 4 periods of play and nothing. They only have 19 shots in this series. The Hurricanes have 40-plus shots in this series. Insane. That's honestly insane. Through 4 periods, the Hurricanes are outshooting the Capitals by more than 25, around that mark. Almost even more than 30, maybe. Right at 30, probably. But man, this does not look good for the Washington Capitals, and they need some momentum to go onto their side. If you're the Hurricanes, you're just saying, we're playing the perfect road game, and if the Capitals get one here, hey, we took a split in Washington. We're going to be back in our home crowd, and we'll get some momentum in there in our own building, as the Capitals or the Hurricanes would want, probably looking for the split, but they probably want to go up 2-0, obviously. But I mean, when you're on the road, you probably want to go for a split in the first 2 games, the first 2 games at a away arena for sure. They get the split either way if they don't win this game. And if the Capitals do win this game, we will be back here in Capital One Arena for game number 5. As this series, I don't know what to expect for sure. This series is honestly the weirdest one out of the 4. No, out of the 4, no. This was Toronto. I was like, what? Toronto's up 2-0? You gotta be kidding me. What dimension did we enter now? Toronto's winning? Wow. We must have entered into an alternate new universe. But it's scoreless. Washington and Carolina. The shots are 7-5, and we'll have a power play of 1:23 remaining on it. When we return to the second period, we'll go over some NBA playoffs, what's happening in the NBA, and how the Celtics are down 2-0 with back-to-back comeback victories for the New York Knicks.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second period as the Capitals looking to score on the power play and try to win this game to tie the series, and they need to do so here as they have struggled a lot in this series on their offense and everything like that. They need a strong period here for sure. And for the Hurricanes, just continue what you're doing. You're doing what's been good for y'all in this whole series, and it's been working out for them for sure. Hurricanes, Capitals. Power play for the Capitals as of the moment. As the towels being waved here in Washington, our nation's capital. Second period underway. Power play still, for the majority of it, is still left on it. Only like 35 seconds of it was left or killed off of it. Chychrun will pick up the puck now as the Capitals look to counter the other way and try to score a power play goal for the first time in the series. Karlsson will not hold it in, and there will be a whistle 22 seconds in. 1:01 left to go on the power play for the Capitals. Chychrun, Ovechkin out there. Chychrun's out there. He's the only defenseman on this power play. It's going to be probably Ovechkin, Strome, Wilson out there. Karlsson and Chychrun. There's the defensive pairing. It was two defensemen, pardon me. You get two defensemen on this power play. Wilson, Strome, back for Karlsson, across for Ovechkin. Hasn't had a goal in the series just yet. Strome off a turnover by Burns. Centered shot. Karlsson missed the net on the one-timer in the slot. A perfect setup and not held in by Karlsson. The setup they needed. A good shot there by Karlsson. Could not put it into the back of the net, though. Ovechkin on the re-entrance. Deflected behind the net for Anderson. Goes over everybody and is cleared out the center ice again. There's two Capitals that could have held the puck in, but could not. As there's less than 15 seconds remaining on the power play here. Here's McMichael into the zone. Trying to drop it off into the middle for Ovechkin. Orlov will steal it away. And they'll clear it down the length of the ice out to center ice. Sandin, and the power play's over. They're 0 for 1. Both teams 0 for 1 in the game. Orlov deflected up into the air and not out of play just yet. It is held in. No shots in the power play for the Capitals. Dubois into the middle. Mangiapane. Sandin's shot through traffic, deflected wide of the net. Martinuk will flip it out to center ice. Shots are 7-5, like how it was after the first period. No shots have been registered so far in the first 2 minutes. As an icing here on the Capitals. 1:54 in. Nothing has been going good for the Capitals as of late. The Hurricanes, everything's just going right. They're playing hard, gritty hockey. And with Rod Brindamore behind the bench, that's probably the reason why. Been to 3 Stanley Cup Finals. 1 in 97 with Philadelphia. 2002 again with the Hurricanes. And then 2006 and won a Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes. Gossespear's shot deflected wide loose. Kakiniemi had it between his body, and he could not backhand it in. Hit the face of Gossespear. Here's McMichael on a breakaway. He scores! Connor McMichael makes it 1-0 Washington. The puck had hit Gossespear's face. And that's what led to McMichael going on the breakaway. And the Capitals are up by 1. Beats Anderson. The puck had hit the face of Gossespear, which opened up the room. And we are back with the puck drop again after that. Wow. That's insane. It hit the face of Gossespear. and goes into the net with a Connor McMichael breakaway, and for the second time in the series, another second period goal to open up the scoring. Connor McMichael with 6 points in the last 7 games in the playoffs, career high 57 points in the regular season. And less than 3 minutes into game number 2's second period, the Capitals are up by 1. Connor McMichael with the goal and beats Anderson on the glove side. Just a perfect shot. Might have went off the tip of the glove of Anderson, not sure. But either way, the Capitals have a 1-goal lead in game 2. Face-off won here by Dowd, and it's moved up out to center ice. Pradas was trying to get through, and he'll beat the icing on Chatfield behind the net, trying to center it for Dowd. And Capitals went down behind the play as a 4-on-2 developing for the Hurricanes. Svechnikov across, shot, blocked up into the air, loose, and cleared out to the blue line, not out. Chatfield held it in. Aho goes low. Svechnikov denied by Thompson. Aho will go back for Orlov, who could not hold it in. And now a race for the puck. Beauvillier was trying to beat Orlov, but Orlov gets there first. Aho into the zone, drops it off. Svechnikov on the far side. And it's stolen away by Eller, who clears it out to center ice. On the 6th shot for the Capitals. They have a 1-goal lead, and they're 3-2 when scoring first in the playoffs. They're 31-8-3 in the regular season. Here is Eller. Banks it off the boards. Here's Radish on side on the backhand. Trying to move it around. Eller will get it behind the net, now into the corner. Still pressured by Gostisbehere. Eller held it in. Sends it low. McMichael, who got the goal on the breakaway to make it 1-0. So the first goal coming to McMichael. Here is a shot by Alexiev. Shot. Rebound through the crease. It hit the back of Anderson. Kotkaniemi, I cannot believe that. The Capitals were this close to a 2-goal lead for the first time in the series. No one in this series has had a 2-goal lead. Dubois drops it off McMichael again. Drops it off into the middle. Roy shot it wide. Anderson did not know where that puck was. He was screened out in front of the net. Chychrun with the puck now. Passes it up off the boards. Dubois will get it first. Behind the net, looking for an option, trying to center it. Blocked away there. It goes back for Dubois in the corner. Stolen away by Slavin. And the Hurricanes look to break it out. Jarvis into the middle. Stahl into the zone. Drops it off. Martinuk back for Stahl. Glove saved by Thompson on the deflection. A low shot right into the glove of Logan Thompson. 4:56 into the second period. Svechnikov's chance down low hit the stick of Carlson, actually. It deflected. That's where the shot was rising. And then this one through the crease. McMichael could have had 2 already in the game. And that one just rolls to the crease. This close to a 2-goal lead and a 2-goal period for McMichael. Not meant to be, as it's still a 1-goal lead by Washington in game number 2. Trying to even up the series. It's going to be Jordan Stahl against Nick Dowd here in the Capitals defensive zone. On the glove side of Thompson, off the face-off one here, Chatfield. As it goes back, Aho, and pardon me, that was Jarvis, Orlov. Dowd will pick it up, deflected off the glass, loose, deflects out to center ice. Chatfield will shoot it back in. Last regulation lead for the Carolina Hurricanes was back in the 3rd period of Game 4 at New Jersey. They won the last 2 games in overtime. Orlov pressured by Dowd from behind. Jarvis stolen away. Dowd trying to center it. No one was there. Chatfield went down. Dowd trying to steal it back. And no, could not. Stahl off the boards for Jarvis. Looking for an option. Dropped it off. No one was there. Chatfield will get it again. Centering pass for Stahl. Deflected by Stroman, out of play. A good chance there. And it deflects out of play with a great deflection off a skate. Tonight, Edmonton, Vegas. After this game, Edmonton leads the series 1-0. Tomorrow, Toronto, Florida, and Dallas, Winnipeg. Their games 3 and 2 respectively. And then game 3 of this series will be on Saturday night in Raleigh
at 5 o'clock Central, Saturday night. As the Stanley Cup playoffs continue, round number 2, as either a 1-0 series lead or a 2-0 series lead have been held by teams here in the second round of the playoffs. Only the Maple Leafs have a 2-0 series lead. Aho gets kicked out of the face-off dot. 14-19 left to go in the middle frame here in game number 2. Dubois, and then one off the face-off by Dubois. Roy. We only have 14 shots combined in the game. Nice move by McMichael to move it in. Dubois drops it out for Wilson. He's trying to center it for Dubois into the slot. Could not. As Aho will move it up. 3-on-2 developing here for the Hurricanes onside. Svechnikov. Backhand pass couldn't go. Aho's centering pass is blocked away. Tom Wilson moves it up for Dubois. And the other way come the Capitals. Onside. Off a skate. And Svechnikov will settle it down and pass it up for Aho. Back on the rush. Aho gets it again. Shot over the net. Dubois will move it up. A counterattack by the Capitals. We'll just chip it in as they'll go for a line change. 6.5 minutes have passed here in the middle frame. A hit on Chatfield by Wilson as he'll go for a change. Sandin trying to do the same on Carrier as a centering pass by Carrier goes through the crease. Moved up here by Van Riemsdyk. The other way come the Capitals. Looking to take a 2-0 lead. To the line, not held in. And then a fallen player, Sandin, recovers. Back in, Robinson, shot, save! Thompson, again, coming up big for the Capitals. The 9th shot for the Hurricanes on goal. Deflects back in from the blue line. Thompson out to play it. Pradas deflected up in the air. Stolen away. Roslovic off the goalpost. Walker to Gostisbehere. Shot. Deflected over the net. Roslovic. Now Stanko in behind the net. Now into the corner. Pressured by Sandin. Spins away from the check of Sandin. Spins again. Centering pass. Shot by Hall was blocked into the corner. Radish loose along the boards. Stanko trying to fish it free, and Strome looks to clear. Cannot. Comes into the slot. Sandin knocked it down, and Strome will backhand it up. Pradas will send it back for Sandin. Settles it down for Washington. Deflected. Chatfield. Gostisbehere. Stanko sent it back in. Sandin off the boards. Deflected. Van Riemsdyk out to center ice. Slavin. And it's going to be offside if Carolina touches it. They will not. We continue play. Radish is onside. Shot! Save made. Deflect into the netting and out of play with 11:48 to go. We'll go to commercial. 1-0 Washington. A goal by Connor McMichael on a breakaway. They're up by 1 in game 2. Trying to even the series. Welcome back, everybody. 11:48 remaining in the second period.
Connor McMichael with a breakaway goal made it 1-0, a second line goal. The top six factoring into game number 2 as Carberry looks pleased on the bench. Second period ozone time is favored to the Capitals by 3 seconds. Shot attempts 9-6 favoring the Hurricanes. They're a high volume team. Scoring chances 2-1 in favor of the Caps. A more positive second period for the Washington Capitals. Strome, the top line out there for the Caps. Ovechkin, Pradas, and Ovechkin. Chychrun shot wide of the net. Carlson held it in along the boards. Loose along the boards. Ovechkin trying to get it free. Centering pass for Strome out of the reach, and Chychrun couldn't hold it in at the blue line. In the skates of the linesman. A hit off the linesman again. Shot back in again. Anderson out to play it. Out to center. Strome will settle it down. Chychrun re-enters. Backhands it into the corner. Rimmed all the way around behind Anderson. Brent Burns and now Slavin. Lost it Ovechkin. To the line, Chychrun held it in. Turned over here to Stahl. Deflects Carlson. Shots are 9-7 in favor of the Hurricanes. Stretch pass here. Stahl. Open man for Jarvis, and out of it was blocked. It's going to be an icing here by Washington with 10:57 remaining in the second, but a chance by Stahl to try to center for Jarvis, and he could not find the open man as he was blocked there by a nice defensive play by, I believe, Chychrun. Very nice defensive play, and that's why Washington re-signed Chychrun to a lot of years and a lot of money. 10:57 remaining. We're almost approaching the halfway point of the hockey game. A 1-0 lead for the Capitals. They had a 1-0 lead in game 1. They lost that game 2-1. They're trying to change that here. Could we potentially see another overtime with the pace this is going? Here is Blake. Chopped away. Shot back in again. Chychrun. Shot. Svechnikov wide. Flipped up into the air, and Beauvillier couldn't get it away. Turned over to Dowd. Centering pass. Duhaime backdoor. Beauvillier hit the post at a wide open net. Can you believe that? How in the world? Beauvillier with an open chance. Thrown away again. Duhaime. Shot. Slowed down in the process. It was a stop by Anderson, but Beauvillier with an open net on the back door just tapping. He hits the outside of the net on an open goal. Wow. Well, that's something you don't see every day. An open net, and the Capitals can't go up by 2 there. That chance might haunt them. Race for the puck. Mangiapane gets it in the corner. Looking to center it. Goes back. Roy's shot was blocked, and Chatfield will move it up the other way. Logan Stankoven. A pass for Hall out of the reach. Mangiapane on the drop pass from Radish. Mangiapane gets taken down. Radish chips it behind the net for Eller. Backhands it around. Shot from the board. Save made as Orlov will clear it out the center ice. Chopped that. Stankoven gets it. Alexiev pressuring him. Shot from the boards. Stankoven down low. Hall couldn't get it. Thompson was down. Kakaniemi across. Shot. Glove save, Thompson. Huge save. The crowd with a standing ovation in Washington. 9:13 to go in the middle frame. A chance to go up by 2. And somehow Beauvillier hits the post on an open net. Wow. The heel of his stick and deflects right off the goalpost. Wow. You don't see that every day. 9:13 to go in game 2. We'll be back. We're back, everybody, with 9:13 remaining in the second period. 1-0 Washington. Tom Wilson on the ice alongside Pierre-Luc Dubois and Connor McMichael. McMichael with the goal scorer. And he scored on a breakaway, but some great saves by Thompson and some great defensive plays. Wilson blocking shots and defending some rushes as well. From the Hurricanes side of things, they're trying to get through the defense of the Capitals. The Capitals. 9:13 left to go in the middle frame. 1-0 Washington. Tom Wilson, in his time here with the Capitals, he's made the playoffs 11 of 13 seasons. Get a reset on the draw. 9:13 to go in the second. Beauvillier on the bench, knowing he just missed an open net to go up by 2 and could not put it in. Hit the outside of the goalpost and stayed out. Slavin from the line, shot it wide of the net. Got the game winner in game 1 in overtime. Shot again, loose, and Thompson swatted it away. Alexiev. And it's now moved up by McMichael up in the air. Wilson knocked it down into the middle. Van Riemsdyk shot, loose. McMichael couldn't get it, held in by Alexiev. Shot into the corner. Tom Wilson. Now Alexiev's shot blocked. Pierre-Luc Dubois on the backhand, blocked. Bodies spilled to the ice. Fans want penalties. They won't get them. Carrier will shoot it back into the corner. Shots are even at 10. The Caps, with 5 shots in the opening period, they've matched that as Ovechkin carries it in, looking for an option. Backhand pass couldn't go. Loose along the boards. Penalty upcoming. Delayed call. And it's going against the Capitals. And the Hurricanes are going to go to the power play as Pierre-Luc Dubois takes a hooking call again. Another hooking penalty. And Pierre-Luc Dubois is getting at it with Orlov. He's arguing about it. Orlov, and then Pierre-Luc Dubois had enough of that. And he's going to the penalty box either way. A tripping, actually, with 8:15 to go. Pierre-Luc Dubois incensed. Ooh. Well, I guess. Ooh, that's an iffy one. Pierre-Luc Dubois doesn't like the call. It's a tripping. Yeah, it could be a tripping. Yeah, that's honestly a tripping. Yeah. I don't know. That's a weird kind of tripping. Hit the hip. He went down off the hip. Face-off one here. A second power play for Carolina. Jarvis goes across. Gostisbehere's shot deflected off the glove of Thompson and over the net. Behind the net's where it's fought for. Comes into the slot, broken up, and cleared by Alexiev down the length of the ice. Anderson out to play it behind the net, and it's played here by Gostisbehere between his skates. Gets it back on his stick. Drops it off. Jarvis, they're 0 for 4 in the series. Aho. Only a shot on the power play as they're 0 for 1 tonight. Svechnikov. Carlson trying to get it free. Could not. Jarvis gets the puck again along the boards. 40 seconds to pass through on the power play. Jarvis to the line. Gostisbehere across. Oh! Deflected wide on the one-time try. Cleared out to center ice. Down the length of the ice. Anderson knocks it down. Gostisbehere with the puck. Oh, wow. That was a weird one. Gostisbehere almost mishandled it and almost put it into his own net. Aho moves it in patiently. Drops it off for Gostisbehere at the blue line. Across it goes for Blake. In the circle now outside. Gostisbehere. One-timer Jarvis wide. Almost hit the referee with that shot. Jarvis gets it again. Pressure at the blue line. Aho. And it's cleared out of the zone by Dowd. Trevor Van Riemsdyk chipped it to Dowd to clear the puck out of the zone. Gostisbehere drops it off. Less than 30 seconds to go on the power play here for the Hurricanes. Taylor Hall sent it into the corner. Roslovic deflected off a body. Loose along the boards. Can't be cleared out yet, though, by Carlson. And then it's cleared on the second try by Carlson. The teams combined in this game on the power play, they're going to go combine an 0 for 3. Roslovic re-enters, drops it out for Taylor Hall, across it goes, shot wide of the net. And out of the box comes Pierre-Luc Dubois, mishandled there by Burns. No shots on the power play for the Hurricanes, just like how the Capitals were on their previous power play chance. Both teams combined 0 for 3. Dubois, centering pass, and it just missed wide by McMichael. Dubois, pressured along the boards. Stahl looking to clear it, mishandled it. Strome trying to get it back. Stankoven and Stahl fighting for the puck along the boards. Brent Burns has the puck now, banks it off the backboards with 5.5 to go. It's cleared out to center ice. And Stahl will pick up the puck in the corner, trying to center for Stankoven, who was open in the middle. Stahl again to the line. Shot by Orlov, save made by Thompson. Shots are even at 11 in game number 2. McDavid against Eichel, 2015 draft. Face-to-face in a best-of-7 series. As game 2 of that series will be after this one. As that we only have 2 games tonight, this one and then the Oilers and the Golden Knights, game number 2. We'll be back, 5:20 remaining in the second period of game 2. We are back, everybody. Game number 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Every team that's left has the same goal, to win that Stanley Cup. 8 of them remain: Dallas, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vegas, Carolina, Washington, and the defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. They're down 2-0 in their series against Toronto. Game 3 tomorrow night, alongside Winnipeg Dallas game number 2 tomorrow night, alongside that Toronto Florida game. Face-off is not won cleanly. They'll reset the clock back to a second. 5:20 remaining in the second still. Face-off in the Washington zone. On the blocker side of Thompson, off the face-off, won by Carolina. Orlov, across it goes for Chatfield. Sends it low into the corner, let it go. Carrier behind the net. Pressured shot, blocked out in front, loose. Van Riemsdyk trying to get it out. And Radish will clear it out the blue line, not out. Orlov held it in. Roslovic shot wide of the net. Orlov couldn't hold it in at the blue line. Race for the puck. Mangiapane takes him down. And a penalty upcoming. And everyone gets together in the corner. Some pushing and shoving, a delayed penalty. And I believe it's going to go against Washington. So Carolina's going to go back to the power play unless another penalty was called. Unless Orlov's going to the box. The rush here, Mangiapane, then the reverse hit there on Orlov. And they called that a penalty, I believe. I think that's what the call is. Unless they're calling Orlov for taking him down. Yes, they're calling that. I thought it was going to be a Carolina power play. Never mind. That's why everyone was... Oh, wow. Dmitry Orlov in the box.
And the third power play for the Capitals. Ovechkin on the ice with Wilson, Strome, Carlson, and Chychrun. Strome in the face-off dot against Jordan Staal, the captain of the Hurricanes. One off the face-off. Ovechkin trying to get it free. Chychrun, and then Slavin will backhand it down the length of the ice. The Capitals, for sure, need to convert on a power play in this series. In the playoffs, the Hurricanes have been perfect. 18 for 18 on the penalty kill. Will it stand here for a 19 for 19? Chychrun, now for Wilson. And clear to the blue line, not out. Carlson held it in. Along the boards, on the perimeter, Strome. Wilson back for Carlson. Back for Strome again along the boards. Back for Carlson! And the shot was blocked out in front. And it's held in by Carlson again. Looking across. Ovechkin's shot. Blocked. Carlson across for Ovechkin's shot. Blocked. Save, Anderson. How did Anderson keep that out of the net? Wow. What a chance for Alexander Ovechkin. They had everything right. The first shot was went off the pad, I believe. How did Ovechkin not score there? Nice keep by Carlson. Wow. Believe the shot might have been slowed down off a block. 4:06 remain and 1:14 left to go on the Washington power play. Face-off is won here by Carolina. Walker tried to clear down low in front of the net. Shot, Wilson denied. Anderson again coming up big. Aho gets ridden off by Carlson. Ovechkin back for Carlson. Strome. Capitals getting chances. They're building up to something. Chychrun rimmed it all the way around. Some great goaltending from Carolina's side of things on this penalty kill. Carlson went down. Just took a tumble. He's better be glad there was no one there in a white jersey, or else that could have been a shorthanded chance for Carolina. 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. A crucial power play here. That only has 34 seconds remaining on it. Chychrun, Chatfield turned over and potentially to Strome. Staal trying to get it out along the boards. Loose, Ovechkin, and Staal. Delay game probably. Are they going to call it? 3:13 to go. Is it a delay game? Staal may have looked like he just delayed the game there and made potentially another a penalty here called. Great save by Anderson on the sticks. Right there trying to go 5-0 was Wilson. Just all alone in front of the net. And a great save there. No penalty. Strome is frustrated on the bench. Slashes his stick on the boards. Wilson with only 2 goals in the postseason. Roy. Mangiapane behind the net. Centering pass. Loose. Shot by McMichael. Deflected. Out of play. The goal scorer in the game. Trying to make it 2. Could not. The Capitals, though, have gotten some grade A chances here in the second period. But a 1-goal lead still. 13 seconds remaining on this Washington power play has looked so much better than the other power plays they've had in the game. Face-offs 1-17 for the Capitals, 13 for the Hurricanes, a 18th one face-off for the Capitals. Roy with 8 seconds to go on the power play on the perimeter. Dubois pressured by Slavin, and this will end the power play. Burns got taken down. Out of the box is Orlov and icing on Carolina with 2:48 to go. And another face-off as is Orlov not allowed to get on the bench? No, he's not. He's supposed to get back on the bench or back on the ice as they ice the puck. 2:48 to go in the second period. 1-0 still in favor of the Capitals. Look at an offensive zone face-off as the Carolina iced the puck after the power play had expired. Burns, Orlov out there. As he was trying to get a line change. They're trying to get Chatfield out there. 8 shots for the Capitals in the period. 4 for the Hurricanes. They've limited their chances for sure. Capitals are about to match their shot total from the last game in almost 2 periods. And in the last game, they only had 14 shots in all in overtime included. No icing as it slowed down. 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. Dubois. Pressured at the blue line. It is out of the zone. Hall makes a good move. Comeback win in 3 of 6 for the Hurricanes. Gostisbehere goes behind the net for Taylor Hall. Looking for an option. Goes into the corner. Gostisbehere in the circle. Shot blocked. Duhaime. Roy, and now Duhaime gets it behind the net. And a failed hit there by Hall. Breakaway pass for Pradas out of the reach. He'll get in the corner. Stankoven will get it now for the Hurricanes. Less than 2 to go. Makes a move at center and Dowd, but Dowd got a stick on it. And here is Ovechkin, a shot. Blocker save. Rebound shot. Beauvillier denied as well. Van Riemsdyk. Then Walker pressured along the boards. Up in the air. Loose into the slot for a moment. Beauvillier trying to get it free. Dowd to the blue line. Van Riemsdyk goes across. 80 seconds to go in the period. Chychrun shot deflected to the crease. Beauvillier goes behind the net. Dowd. Ovechkin pressured along the boards by Roslovic. To the blue line, held in by Van Riemsdyk. Looking, shooting. Loose. Ovechkin. Loose. It's covered. Anderson. How did he make that save? Everyone was poking at the puck. Ovechkin had some great chances again. And somehow, some way, Anderson keeps it out of the net to still maintain that 1-goal deficit. Wow. Ovechkin with some high-quality chances here in the period, and he has probably shot some, like, 5+ shots already. Here's Ovechkin in the crease here. And Anderson had covered it on the initial shot. It was off of Dowd's skate. Man, oh man. 1:02 to go in the second. 15-11, the shots favoring the Capitals. They have passed the shots they had in the first game of this series. 3 shots for Ovechkin in this series. 5 points and 4 goals against Montreal. Face-off, 1 here. Has had a goal since that Montreal game. Dubois. Pressured along the boards to the line. Carlson deflected wide of the net. Wilson with the puck. Less than a minute to go. Carolina needs to escape out of this period. Shot deflected loose into the slot. Chatfield tries to chip it out. Huge hit by Wilson. Svechnikov dropped his stick. He gets it back now as McMichael got angled off. What a huge hit by Tom Wilson. Chatfield drops it off. Nice move there by Aho. Goes across for Orlov. Along the boards, 25 to go. Centering pass goes to the crease. Chatfield tries to wind one up. Could not. Here's Blake. A nice move. Orlov couldn't handle it. It was a wide open net. 15 to go. Aho blocked. Loose in the crease. No one can get it. Blake couldn't get it out. 8 seconds to go. Orlov in the slot. Shot blocked out in front of the net. And chipped out. And it's over. This second period is over. Wow. A defensive effort by the Washington Capitals. They maintain their 1-goal lead late in the second. They got 20 minutes remaining to try to hold on and even the series at 1 apiece. We'll be back with our intermission report coming up next. Great chances all around, but only 1 goal. We'll talk about it in our intermission report. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody, to the intermission report, second intermission, and the Capitals score first as they make it 1-0. They outshot the Carolina Hurricanes 11-4, and not if Anderson does not play as well as he did in that second period, we could be talking about a 4-0 lead for the Capitals right now. But Anderson has kept the Hurricanes in the game, and that's been one of the reasons why he's been one of the best goaltenders for the Hurricanes in a while. And it's Connor McMichael's goal to make it 1-0, coming at 2:16. It hit the face of Gostisbehere, the puck. His own man shot into his own man, or a Walker, I believe, and then it opened some room because Gostisbehere was just holding onto his face, and then McMichael takes advantage and scores on a breakaway, beats Anderson on the glove side, unassisted, 1-0 Washington. They get a huge goal in game number 2, trying to even the series up at 1. But then again, game 1 was exactly like this. They score first, and then Carolina for the late tying goal was Stankoven's tying the game in game number 1. Tied it up, and then in overtime, it was Slavin, my mind just completely blanked right there. Slavin with the overtime goal from the blue line. It was a nothing shot, and it goes through a screen and beats Anderson through back. We are back, I think. I think we are back. If anyone's watching this, please say in the chat or anything like this if we're still live. Because I don't know what just happened. Okay. We are good. Okay. We are good. Well, that was something. So a better overall offensive period for the Washington Capitals in that second period. Only had 5 shots in the opening period of this game, and limit all the chances that Carolina got. Only got 4 shots on goal. That's something they want to carry over to the third period, trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. The shots were 16-11 after the second period, and 40 minutes in the books. Can the Capitals hold on and try to win this game number 2 and force it to Raleigh for games 3 and 4, even at 1 apiece? We will see, as the Hurricanes have a lot to do. They took a step back from that first period where they were just dominating the Capitals, and it felt like it was just a reverse switch, or Uno reverse card of play. First period, Carolina dominating. Second period, it was a reverse Uno reverse card, and Washington said it's our turn now. So Washington with a more dominant period in this second, and not to say something here, but Capitals have had some power play opportunities here, and Carolina had a power play in this second period. I believe they had 2. No, they had 1. And they could not convert on it. They had no shots on that one. Both the power plays combined 0 for 4 in the game, as the Hurricanes' penalty kill continues to be incredible in this postseason. They have not given up a power play goal in this whole entire postseason, which is utterly insane. That's got to be a record for something. It reminds me of that Oilers penalty kill that took down Dallas in the Western Conference Final when they went 17 for 17, I believe. And just wow. Utterly insane how the Hurricanes have been able to kill off so many penalties, and it's such a rewarding feeling, I guess you could say, that they've almost killed off 20 of 20. That they've taken penalties. It also means they got to stop taking penalties as well. But the fact they can get through a penalty kill is pretty good, and some good saves by Anderson has bailed them out in this game. They did not look good in that second period, and the Capitals only took advantage of that breakaway goal. But surely they had some chances, and Anderson came up big on some huge chances. As 22 block shots by the Capitals. Wow. Most of the chances for the Carolina Hurricanes and the shot attempts, just wow. More of them have been accurately on goal for the Capitals, as only 7 block shots by the Hurricanes. But man, oh man, if you count the block shots and then the shots on goal for the Hurricanes, they're 33. And then not counting the shot attempts, the other shot attempts is wow. That is utterly insane. Carolina is a highly shot-worthy team, and it shows, but they haven't been able to get them on goal most of the time in this game, and that's been a problem, and the Capitals have taken advantage of that for sure. 7:25 away from our third period. The Capitals up by 1 over the Carolina Hurricanes, trying to even the series. Can they do so? We'll be back and talk about what we were supposed to talk about in the first intermission, about the Celtics and Tatum and other playoff stuff that's going on right now. And Edmonton and Vegas, what do we expect in game number 2 of that series? We'll be back in just a moment. We're back, everybody. The Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights coming up next after this game. And from what I'm hearing right now at the moment is that Calvin Pickard is starting again, and he owns himself a 5-game win streak, even though he has a below 900 save percentage with a 896 save percentage. The Oilers have come back in 5 straight games to win 5 straight. He's expected to play tonight, and he was in the morning skate, and he's going to start game number 2 for the Oilers. And I heard for Vegas that someone was coming back, and I believe it was Pietrangelo. So Alex Pietrangelo coming back into the lineup as the Vegas Golden Knights trying to do everything to not go down by 2 games. As it'd be a trend if it is. So it'd be something. As we will see. Third period about to start now, as we'll send it back to the score bug. We still have 2 minutes on our stream. It's awkward. Yeah, hold on. Give me a moment. Alright, we're still a little bit of away. No, it's not over yet. So we'll go to commercial or go to break a little bit. Just And welcome back, everybody. The third period about to start here in Washington. The Capitals holding on to a 1-goal lead in the third period, trying to even the series up at 1. The Capitals, in their 50th anniversary celebration of their season, or of existence, trying to close it out here. McMichael. Washington out shooting Carolina 16-11. As, Last game was basically the same story. Prada scoring first on a rush, and then Carolina winning in overtime. Will it be the same story here tonight, where Carolina would get a tying goal in the third period and potentially send this game into an overtime? We will see, but you expect that the Carolina Hurricanes will have a push here in the third for sure, as it's only a 1-goal game here in game number 2 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So Ovechkin, Pradas, and Strome out there. Strome centering the line. It's going to be, look at that's Orlov taking the draw. Face-off one here. Pardon me, that was Stahl. Shot back in again as we're underway in the third period. Deflected up in the air. Way up in the air. Didn't go out of play, though. Chatfield's shot. Blocked by Chychrun. Behind the net, Chatfield. Gostisbehere. And it goes out of center ice. Shot back in again. Thompson tried to knock it down. Chychrun gets it on his backhand. Almost gave it up into a dangerous spot in their own zone, but Pradas picked it up and will send it into the corner. Anderson out to play it. Backhanded around for Chatfield. Strome trying to get it away, and no, could not. Stahl moving in on side. Shot wide of the net. Jarvis looking for an option, and then he lost the puck as Strome will move it up for Roy into the middle, and it's shot back in on Anderson, who gloves it, and will get a face-off in the Carolina zone. And now Orlov and Roy get together in front of Anderson. Brent Burns separating them. They didn't need a linesman or a referee. They just needed Brent Burns to separate them from what they were doing there. And a great game by Tom Wilson. He has saved some goals. He's had some huge hits. He's going to continue that here in the third period, and he's on the ice again. Off the face-off. One, as Brent Burns clears it out of the zone. Slavin. Offside if Carolina touches it. They'll touch back. Sandin into the middle for Dubois. The pass jumped over his stick. Washington led 1-0 after the second in game one, in a game where they got dominated and lost that game 2-1 in overtime. They allowed the tying goal in the third period. Will it be the same story tonight? We will see. Game number 2, a must-win for the Capitals to try to even the series up as Duhaime gets through a check. Got a hooking call and a power play for Washington. A great shift by Duhaime and the determination to try to get through Burns. And Burns takes a penalty for hooking, and the Capitals to the power play once again. Minute and 32 into the third period. A huge power play chance for Washington. Can they convert? They're 0 for 3, I believe, in the game. They're 0 for 2, I think. 0 for 2 or 0 for 3. Not sure. Ovechkin's back out there. Had some grade A opportunities on the last power play they had and could not get it done and put it into the back of the net. They can find Ovechkin open in his office. Could be a guaranteed right there. Orlov gets taken down along the boards. Strome will send it back to the point for Carlson. Back for Strome. Had some trouble with it. Wilson. Now for Strome again. Trying to find an open Ovechkin as he moves to the other side of his office. Ovechkin. Now for Strome. Into the corner. Along the boards. Wilson down low. Carlson scores! John Carlson on the power play. 2-0 Washington. What a pass by Wilson. 2-0 Washington. A power play goal. Orlov went down, and then the setup here, Ovechkin was on the other side of his office. It was not in his usual office place. It was a blocked pass, and then a pass by Ovechkin to Strome. Wilson, a backhand or a forehand pass across to the backdoor feed for Carlson, who puts it in. And less than 2 minutes in, for the first time in the series for the Capitals, they have a 2-goal lead. So a huge goal there, 21st career playoff goal, and his first of these playoffs for John Carlson, the defenseman for the Capitals. And he makes it a 2-0 lead for Washington. A race for the puck to try to beat the icing. Anderson out to play it. That's the first power play goal allowed for Carolina this postseason. Stankoven, who tied the game in game 1, sent it around Walker. Kakiniemi goes back to the blue line. Gostisbehere through traffic, and it's stopped there by Thompson on the glove side. 2:29 into the third period, and a huge goal by John Carlson to give the Capitals a 2-goal lead in game 2. They had not gotten a game 2 or a 2-0 lead in this series so far, and they get one here almost 6 periods into the series. No one had gotten a 2-goal lead in the series until now. 134th career playoff game for John Carlson, third most in Capitals history, and he scores to make it a 2-0 lead. McMichael chips it back in. Pradas pressuring Aho. Slavin moves it up, deflected at center. Dumped back into the corner. 16-12, the shots favoring the Capitals. Shot back in from the blue line. Thompson tried to knock it down. Carlson had some trouble handling the puck there. Turnover. Svechnikov missed it wide. He gets it back and couldn't get a clean shot away on the rebound. Walker goes back. Shot from distance wide of the net again. A lot of those point shots have missed wide for Carolina. Then a nice in here on Washington. 3:15 into the third. A huge goal, John Carlson. Most playoff points, 78. He's behind Brian Leetch, Brian Rafalski, and Chris Chelios on that list. He has 78. And the closest to him, Brian Leetch with 97, Rafalski with 100, and Chris Chelios with 144, U.S.-born defenseman all time. most defenseman points. So he's kind of a long way from Brian Leetch. Won the Cup in '94, Brian Leetch with the New York Rangers, along with Messier, the captain. Tikkanen on that team as well. Matteau and every one of those Rangers that made that special. They're not in this postseason. Loose along the boards. Comes free from behind the net. Dubois. John Carlson again moves it up for Dubois. That's going to be another icing here. Unless it slows down, it does. And the Capitals will get a change as the Caps crowd chanting, "Let's go Caps." And it's shot back in from center. Thompson gloved it down. Van Riemsdyk. And it's cleared out to center ice. Eller trying to get through a check. Chatfield. Carolina hasn't had much here, and they're going to ice the puck as well. So they have to revert their change in lines as they take an icing there. And so the Capitals will get an offensive zone face-off. 4:06 in to the third period. A 2-0 lead for the Capitals. A goal by John Carlson on the power play off the feed from Tom Wilson, who has had a wonderful game, and he proves right there why he's had a great game. Tie up in the circle. They'll have to reset the clock again, back to 15:54, and they'll have to redo this draw again. Strome in the face-off dot, and Ovechkin was, I don't know what happened there. And it's flipped out to center ice as the Capitals lost the face-off. Van Riemsdyk made a move on Stankoven to not get the puck. Stankoven, if he touches that, it would be an offside. He touches back. Deflected back in by Washington. Anderson out to play it into the middle. Great pass up the middle of the ice. Kotkaniemi, not Kochetkov. Made that mistake in the regular season. Strome flips it out to center ice, and Wilson can't get it away from Slavin. Kotkaniemi now will flip it back into the corner. Deflected on the backhand. Ovechkin can't clear. Brent Burns a shot from the point, high and wide. Roy and then Stankoven gets it again to the point. Brent Burns a shot through traffic off the goalpost. A shot that caromed off a body and maybe off a stick. Shot save made, rebound, and Strome was not quick enough to get to the rebound. It was a slow shot from center ice. Carolina looking to get on the board here. They're down by 2, and they got less than 15 minutes to try to even the game up. Held in again. Behind the net, Gostisbehere. Stahl back for Gostisbehere behind, or Martinook out in front, and through the crease it goes. Held in, Martinook across it goes. Gostisbehere now, Walker through traffic. Rebound, Jarvis couldn't get it home. Martinook now for Jarvis in the corner. Along the boards, got taken down. Walker shoots. Blocker saved by Thompson. Stahl in the corner. Time ticking here. 40 seconds of zone time here for the the Hurricanes. And Eller, Van Riemsdyk can't clear it out yet. Trying to go down low, and it could not go. Gostisbehere across. Jarvis broke his stick. Martinook, a backhander that goes wide as he was on his feet. Stahl, pressure here by Carolina. Save! Thompson. More than a minute out there of zone time. Crowd cheering. They need to get it out. Gostisbehere shoots over the net. Still can't get it out. Blake's shot deflected into the corner. Gostisbehere, and it's blocked. Can they clear it out? No. Gostisbehere held it in again to Walker at the blue line. Gostisbehere again. A minute and a half of zone time here. A chance to clear for Radish. He cannot yet. Aho to the point. Walker across. Gostisbehere looking. And then a miscommunication almost got it out of the zone, but Martinook held it in. Aho behind the net. More than almost 2 minutes left to go of zone time here. Gostisbehere, it's like a power play. Aho into the middle. Walker, and it hit the outside of the net. Maybe a piece went off of Thompson. Centering pass for Blake. 2 minutes now of zone time. And it's
Cleared out to center ice. 2 minutes of zone time and nothing. Walker back in. A change for Washington. And here's Beauvillier, one-on-one. He's in. Circles behind the net. Centering pass shot. And that deflected Carlson. He didn't get all of it. Dowd knocks it down. To the line, Carlson. Rimmed it all the way around. Duhaime slowed it down. Beauvillier trying to get it. Duhaime steals it away. Backhand pass into the middle. Could not go. Duhaime gets it again. To the blue line, Chikrin. Dancing the blue line. Shot. Rebound stopped. Wrap around. Oh, what a save. Oh, got there. Chikrin with the puck. Centering pass. He just took the shot. And then Aho just saved the goal. What a sequence of events here. I don't know why that went to commercial break. That was not icing. It's back again. I was about to say, why would we go to a commercial break? We're back. They're giving us a false hope that was not an icing. Or that Thompson would have froze that puck, and I believe we'll get a commercial break after that. But we're still in play here for remaining. Roy. And it's up in the air. And that's a delay of game. 11:24 to go. A penalty upcoming to Washington. Sandin again. And a scrum right afterwards. Roslovic and Dubois tying up together. Hall and Tom Wilson. Oh boy. Stankoven trying to separate him. Taylor, Hall, and Wilson want to get at it. Oh boy. 11:24 to go. And McMichael swatted it out of play. And that was a penalty. So 11:24 to go. Carlson on the backdoor feed by Wilson. 2-0, but a Hurricanes power play when we return. Welcome back, everybody. 11:24 to go. In the third period, we've had chances after chances on both sides of the ice, but none have gone in. The only goal in this third period was a power play goal early on by John Carlson, his first of the postseason, and he makes it a 2-0 lead for the Washington Capitals, a crucial goal for the Capitals this season in the power play in the playoffs. 0 for 5 in the series, though, the Carolina Hurricanes, but they're 22.2% on the power play in these playoffs. And a crucial penalty there by McMichael, who takes a delay of game penalty. Aho, Blake Jarvis, Gostisbehere, and Svechnikov out there. And Aho's going to get kicked out of the face-off dot. On the glove side of Thompson, the face-off is where he's being held. Jarvis and Dowd. Face-off won by Dowd, and Carlson can't clear it out yet. Held in, Gostisbehere. Across for Aho at the point. Now along the boards, now Jarvis at the blue line. Back for Aho again. Slowly passes it back for Jarvis. Gostisbehere for Jarvis, who faked the blast. Jarvis across, Aho. Delane, stick handling, looking. Gostisbehere in the circle, pressured by two Caps, but held in by Aho. Pass across. Jarvis, save, rebound. Oh, what a save, Thompson. Blake to the line, and Jarvis. Gostisbehere, a one-timer that's stopped by Thompson again. Svechnikov to Gostisbehere along the boards. Back for Aho at the point. Into the middle. Pass across. Jarvis. Shot block. Gostisbehere scores on the carom. Carolina on the board. It's 2-1. A power play goal for Gostisbehere on the one-timer, and it went off a body and caromed right to Gostisbehere in the circle to spank that one home, and it's now a 2-1 game with 10:34 to go. What a shot by Shane Gostisbehere. It was the one-timer here by Jarvis that was blocked, and it went off Carlson and went straight to Gostisbehere, and Thompson had no chance. Oh, it was so close to being stopped as well. Wow. So both power play goals in the third period, pardon me. Gostisbehere with his second of the playoffs. That's the first power play goal for the Hurricanes in this series. Stahl trying to tie it. Slavin, shot was blocked by Ovechkin, and they're looking for the tying goal. Martinuk to the point again. Slavin rimmed around. Carrier went down a little bit there, but still had the puck. Backhander on goal, and it went wide. Cleared out of the zone. Out to center ice for Strome. Halfway through the third period. 2-1 game, and it bounced on Anderson with 9:56 remaining in the third period. A 2-1 game. Shane Gostisbehere with a power play goal has made it a one-goal game again here in Washington, D.C. Don't go away. 9:56 left in this third period, and you do not want to miss it. This is going to be a tense half period left of game 2. We'll be back. We're back, everybody. 9:56 left to go in the third period. We thank you again for watching. We have had a great amount of support for the past 2 live streams for the first time ever on this channel. We passed 100 live viewers with the Toronto-Florida game, and this one's getting up there with not that game, obviously, but getting up there with our previous record of 28 live viewers live. If we could break it here tonight, it'd be insane. Edmonton, Vegas is coming up next on ESPN, if you want to tune into that. And hold on, I have to pull up the stream as oh, never mind, we're good. 9:56 left to go. It seemed like I was having a stream glitch there on my feed, but we're back, everybody, and Sandin will pair the puck and pass it across. Deflected back in. 83% decided by 1 goal or 2 plus with empty net. Close games this postseason. 50% with game-tying or go-ahead goals in the third period. And I can think of multiple examples of those. Wyatt Johnston's series-winning goal against Colorado in Game 7. And the tying goal with 1.6 left in Winnipeg in Game 7. It's been a comeback of many in this playoff year. Loose along the boards as Svechnikov trying to get it free. The Capitals trying to hold on to their 2-1 lead. That was just 2-0. But a power play goal by Shane Gostisbehere. Icing here on Washington with 9.5 to go. Shane Gostisbehere has made it a 1-goal game, and they got to hold on here. if they want to even the series going to Raleigh. Very tense moments for the Washington Capitals and the Carolina Hurricanes. Momentum with the power play goal by Shane Gostisbehere. Aho out there with Blake and Svechnikov. Burns and Slavin out there as well. Their top line and their top defensive pairing. And Carlson will flip it out to center ice. Will that be another icing? Yes, it will be. 9:21 to go. And we're getting a lot of stoppages in play here. A lot of whistles. And third period dragging on here, I guess you could say. 14 shots in the previous game for the Capitals. They have 19 in this one. They have more shot attempts, 34 in game 1, 45 in this one. They're 1 for 3 on the power play. They were 0 for 2 in the last one. Ozone to every number has been better for the Capitals in this game compared to game 1, which is just probably their first bad game of the playoffs, honestly. 14 shots. They still sent it to overtime, but still, that is an atrocious game by Washington. Turnover here, and Blake almost went in. All alone, almost. Roy deflected. Back in. Shot in from the blue line. 9 minutes to go in the third period. Dowd pressuring Burns. Almost a turnover to Sandin. Duhaime. Shoot. Save. Anderson. Quick release there, and Duhaime with the chance with 8:54 remaining in the third. You do not want to miss the ending to this one for sure. Carolina trying to even the game. They were down 2-0 in the early stages of the third period in this one. And then a power play goal by Shane Gostisbehere has got them within 1. Face-off 1 here. Strome. Ovechkin tied up with Chatfield. But Orlov picks it up for the Hurricanes in their own zone. Less than 9 minutes left to go in the third period in regulation. Strome. Protas will chip it in from the blue line. Anderson out to play it. Almost gave it away to Ovechkin, but Chatfield was there to help him out. Strome passes it back for Roy. 8.5 to go in the third. 21-20 now. The shots favoring the Hurricanes for the first time in a while. Orlov. A pass across into the middle, broken up there, and a race for the puck for Beauvillier and Orlov. Orlov got there first, held in by Duhaime. Goes low into the slot. Penalty upcoming, I believe. Or was it offside? Might have been offside. I'm not sure. Carolina with chances. They hit the post earlier on. This deflection hit the goalpost. And then this chance on the power play. Jarvis' shot was blocked in the one-timer, and then another one-timer by Gostisbehere got them within 1 again. So Shane Gostisbehere, the defenseman, the only goal scorer for Carolina in the game. Face-off 1 here. Gostisbehere gets it. Walker, as he's back out there again. Stankoven, who tied game 1. That deflects out of play into the netting with 8:09 to go. And a series of stoppages in the whistles and just, wow. Hurricanes this postseason, 14 posts / crossbars hit. Most in playoffs, 2 tonight. Which is an insane stat because they could have 14 more goals than they have right now. But posts and crossbars don't count as goals. And wow, it's an insane stat. 72 shot attempts for the Hurricanes, 46 for the Capitals. They're down again in those shot attempts. Reminds me of the last year's Eastern Conference Final with Florida and New York, and how the Panthers kept out shooting the Rangers. Shot attempts of 100, I think, at one point for the Panthers. And like 30-something for the Rangers. That series is very lopsided in the shot attempts for sure. Walker moves it up across. Capital went down in the process. It was Chychrun. Taylor Hall pressured along the boards. Here's Stankoven with the pass. Stankoven, he shoots through traffic. Save made off the blocker of Thompson. Carlson flips it to the blue line. Burns held it in with the skate. Stankoven sends it deep into the corner. Thompson was trying to glove it down. Chychrun off the boards. Carlson. Stankoven out there still. He was acquired from the Stars in the Rantanen trade. And how about Mikko Rantanen right now? back-to-back hat tricks, and he has a lot of points in the past couple of games. He has been red hot for the Dallas Stars. Less than 7 to go. Scored a hat trick as that one hit the outside of the net for Strome. Might hit the goalpost, actually. Roy, and now Sandin. Off the boards, given away here. Blake has the puck in the corner. Looking to center, he will, and it went off the blocker of Thompson. Chatfield's shot deflected wide. Blake behind the net. And Blake got taken down. Holy moly. Chatfield almost got it as it was poked away by one of the Capitals. I believe it was McMichael. What a defensive play there to keep this from a scoring chance from Chatfield, and icing on Carolina, and an offensive zone faceoff at the other end. Someone threw the bird. Threw 2 birds right on live national TV. Well, that's one way to get yourself on the internet. Oh man, that was like the worst time to cut to that camera angle. 22-20, the shots favoring the Hurricanes. Connor McMichael with 4 goals in this postseason, 2 assists, 10 scoring chances, and 16 shots in this postseason for the Washington Capitals. Strome has it at center ice, shoots it back in. 6 minutes to go in the third period. Ovechkin tried to center for Strome. Strome was on the other page. Van Riemsdyk gets there first. Gave it away, though. Robinson centered. Loose on the side of the net. And Ovechkin cleared it out to center ice. Pradas on the race with Chatfield. Pradas couldn't get the handle as Chatfield played that beautifully defensively. Orlov, 5.5 to go in the third. Robinson cleared out to center ice. John Carlson to Chikrin. Flips it up in the air out to center ice. Burns knocked down Duhaime. Now Beauvillier sent it into the corner. Dowd, loose along the wall. Back to the point, held in. Carlson, long distance shot, deflected wide of the net. Washington hasn't had a shot here in a while. Giving up here at center ice. Robinson's in, he shoots over the net. Trying to go glove side, I believe. 5:02 to go. Out of play, we get a whistle. Eric Robinson with a chance. After this game, Vegas, Edmonton, Eichel, 6 points in the last 4 games, a goal and 5 assists. But the Oilers coming back in that game number 1. Game 2, after this game. We'll be back. Game 2 of this series. 2-1, Caps leading it with 5:02 remaining in the third. Okay, we're going to be back real quick, everybody. I'd like to just thank everyone for the support again. We have broken another record again from the most viewed stream again, which was before our previous broadcast. It was 28 with Toronto and Boston in game number 6 of the 2024 series. These past 2 games, we have broken that record, and I'd like to just thank you all for watching. And we hope you stick around for the rest of the coverage we have of the Stanley Cup playoffs, MHS2, here on the main one too as well, as we continue to give you coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. 5:02 remaining in the third period. Washington up 2-1. Thank you, everybody. Type in the chat, who are you going for? Is it Let's Go Caps or is it Go Canes Go? Type in the chat. Trying to hype it up. 5:02 remaining. Caps trying to hold on to a 1-goal lead. And the Canes trying to tie the game. They got 5:02 remaining to try to force it into overtime. Yesterday, the Maple Leafs went up 2-0 against the Panthers. Then Mikko Rantanen in a second straight game with a hat trick. Third player all time with consecutive playoff hat tricks. And he won game 1 for the Dallas Stars, 3-2. 5 straight comeback wins, playoff record for the Edmonton Oilers. They look to win game number 2 to make it 6 straight wins. Caps crowd, raucous, here at Capital One Arena. Dowd in the face-off circle. It's against Stahl. 12 shots this period for the Hurricanes. They had 11 shots through the first two. Oh, win on goal save made by Thompson. It's steered towards the front. Walker got taken down in the corner. It's loose along the wall. Comes free. Chikrin. And then Pradas will flip it out to center ice. Dowd will get it down. Jarvis takes him out of the play. Less than 5 minutes to go in the third period. The Hurricanes looking to tie it. Comes a question when they get to pull the goaltender. Stahl along the boards to the line. Martinuk shot deflected. Save Thompson. A huge save off the pad. A huge save by Logan Thompson with 4.5 minutes to go, or else this game would have been tied. A Martinuk shot from the blue line deflected by Walker and right off the pad of Logan Thompson, and this close to the tying goal as Thompson made a good save there from a point shot. 4.5 to go in the third period. Caps trying to hold on. Canes trying to tie the game. Try to force it into overtime. Face-off one here. Walker with the puck. Shoots it. Save made again by Thompson, who has been busy in this third period to the line. Slavin to Blake. Looking. Makes a move. And then passes it back for Slavin at the point. Blake will get it again. Pressured from behind from Sandin. Went down in the process. And my stream froze. No, this is the worst time for it to happen. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. They better not be doing this. Oh, my goodness. I am so sorry, y'all. This is the worst time for this to go out. I am pulling up the stream right now. Hold on. I am so sorry. This is the worst timing. Of course, my stream wants to go out. Okay, it is now 3.5 minutes left. Okay, we're going to have to switch it back to how it was. Okay, 3:49 to go. Loose along the boards. Clear to the blue line, not out. Chatfield held it in. 3:40 left to go. Shot back in. The shots are 14-6 in favor of the Hurricanes. 3.5 minutes to go. Logan Stankoven will shoot it back in from center ice. Loose along the boards. Out to the blue line, and it's out to center. As it's moved up here by Strome. Dylan Strome drops it off for Chikrin. And he went down in the process. Strome couldn't get a shot away. And a 2-on-1 developing here for the Hurricanes. Stan coming up with a chance there and could not get the pass across. It was Taylor Hall and Stan coming on a 2-on-1, and Hall couldn't get the pass across. A golden opportunity missed for the Hurricanes. Turnover in the slot. Shot wide of the net. Stankoven trying to wrap it around. Goes back to the blue line. Stahl to Stankoven. 2:45 to go. Goalie pulled at the other end, I believe. Shot back in from the blue line. 2:40 left to go in the third. At the blue line, fought for Stahl. Loose along the boards. Duhaime battling with him. It's loose, and it's cleared out to center ice again. 2.5 minutes to go in the third period. Shot back in again. 25-20. The shot's favoring the Hurricanes. Trying to tie. Centering pass is blocked away. Loose along the boards. Wilson. It's still loose. To the blue line. Held in. Along the boards. Aho. 80 seconds remaining in the third period of play. And there's a whistle with 1:18 to go. As everyone gets together. 2-1 Caps still with the lead. Oh my. Thank you for watching, Spinning Mantis. Had trouble with our stream there, but we are back with it, and we thank you all for watching, obviously. And I'm glad you're here with us in the last couple of seconds of this tense game, Carolina and Washington.
This was Van Riemsdyk here on the 2-on-1 that Taylor Hall and Stankoven could have had a chance, and a great defensive play by Van Riemsdyk that negates that pass from Taylor Hall to Stankoven, and that might have been the opportunity to tie this game. Rally towels going off in Washington. A timeout by Carolina. They're drawing up a play. They need to find a way to tie this game up. Crowd going crazy at Capital One Arena. These playoffs have been wild. I wouldn't suspect if anything were to happen in the final seconds of this one for sure. Anything can happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 1:18 left to go in the third period. Game 2. Carolina. 1:18 away from going to Raleigh, tied at 1 in the series, or they force this to an overtime with a chance to go up 2-0. We will see. Can the Capitals hold on to a 2-1 lead? The goal by John Carlson on the power play is the difference. 1:18 remaining in the third period of play. A big face-off here. Aho in the face-off against Dowd, and the face-off is delayed here as a false start, so we get a little bit of a whistle here, and we'll wait up as the linesman did not like the drop. 1:18 to go. Capitals, Hurricanes, 2-1. Capitals leading it. Comes to the front of the net. Cleared to the blue line, not out. Burns went down. Shot! Loose! A save! Thompson loose again! Chipped out of the zone. The empty net try. Here is Pradas. He shoots. Blocked. Centering pass for Wilson. He scores! Tom Wilson makes it 3-1 Washington with less than a minute to go. And they'll tie the series at 1. 59.2 remaining. And an empty net goal has put the Capitals up by 2 again. A huge goal there by Tom Wilson. The empty net dagger, potentially. And that shot was initially blocked by Burns. And then the rebound, a pass across to Wilson, was just wide open. Leads to the 3-1 goal, an empty netter. Third goal of the playoffs for Tom Wilson. First of this series. He set up that goal for Carlson. And with less than a minute to go, the Capitals trying to hold on to a 3-1 lead and tie the series up at 1. Dubois is offside of the line with 48.7 remaining. We get another whistle. This series loves whistles, I guess, because there's been so many of them. The Capitals faithful, cheering. Logan Thompson, the reason why this game wasn't tied. Huge chances in the third. Face-off won here by Carolina. Orlov. Now for Stankoven. Poked away. McMichael will dump it back in. Anderson trying to knock it down. Orlov. 35 seconds to go. Shot back in. Slavin. Or Taylor Hall, pardon me. 25 seconds to go. Stankoven. Centering pass. Shot. Blocked. Orlov shot. Wide of the net. On the one-timer in the slot. 15 to go in the period. In regulation, Taylor Hall along the boards. Goes low into the corner. Intercepted. 8 seconds to go. Pinned up along the wall. 5 seconds remaining. That broke a stick. The Capitals have tied the series at 1. A huge victory for the Washington Capitals. And they win this one 3-1.
A goal by John Carlson is the game winner. And we thank you all for watching us tonight. And we appreciate that so much. It means a lot to us. We have had a record-setting playoff so far, and we've had a lot of games get a lot of viewers, and we thank you so much for that. And that's going to end our night here, though. If you want to watch more hockey, there's Edmonton and Vegas coming up on ESPN, and if you want to watch that, it'll be on there. But that's going to do it for us on NHL on MHS. The Capitals with a huge Game 2 win. They tie up the series at 1, and will send it to Raleigh even at 1 apiece. From Max, good night, everybody.